It's now about 15 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. I'm Kimberly De Souza, and we're going to be switching gears to the Water and Sewerage Authority. Now, from March 1st until June 30th, the Water and Sewerage Authority, or WASA as we know it, they actually have a dry season water supply management plan in place to curb the use of water during the season. And so with me on the line, I have Ms. Shaira Ali, who is the Acting Director of Operations, and Ms. Natasha Andrews, who is the Acting Director of Customer Care at WASA. Ladies, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the Now Morning Show.
Morning.
Now, Ms. Ali, we will start with you first. So we announced this dry season water management plan. I mean, how has WASA been managing, to keep the country's water supply thus far?
Yes, and we have been taking very proactive measures early on, even prior to the onset of the dry season, starting in December. So first, I would like to share with you some of our current reservoir levels. At present, we are near our long-term average at the 4 main impounding reservoirs across Trinidad and Tobago. So at this time, for example, at the Caroni Arena Reservoir, it's currently at 86% versus our long-term average of 70%. Navet is at 70% versus a long-term average of 69. Hollis 60 versus 59, and Hillsborough 71 versus 70%. This means that prudent management of our reservoirs was critical to ensure that we have a sustainable supply to take us through the dry season. Now, however, notwithstanding, during the first couple of months of 2020, we were able to see intermittent rainfall, and this did help in sustaining the reservoir levels. But as we move into April, we expect to see drier conditions, and during the next couple of months, it will be imperative that we conserve and that we introduce all the additional steps and measures to really conserve supply so that we have, a prolonged and equitable distribution as we move to the end of the dry season.
Now, Ms. Ali, you mentioned some of the measures that the authority wants to take to ensure, that customers get the water during this dry season. What are some of those measures?
We have also taken several steps towards maintaining and mitigating supply. Some of the immediate ones, in February, we introduced our dry season schedules, and these again will be amended later on as may be necessary. So we have introduced our scheduling program, which we monitor daily in terms of our schedule compliance to ensure that all the areas, especially underserved communities, do get supply at least. And in addition to, we have taken other measures in terms of our demand management, and more so with respect to our leak drive. So starting in December, we initiated a leak drive campaign in terms of ramping up our repair activities. We were able to successfully complete at this time over 8,600 leaks, and this drive is continuing. We were able to expand on the leak drive initiative in terms of, in addition to our in-house resources, we were able to include contracted services. And over the next month, we will be expanding even further so that additional coverage will be had in many of the areas, especially those prone to high leakage. It is critical for us that we manage the leaks because it means that once these leaks are repaired, there is more available water so that customers can benefit from that supply. Now, in addition, there are several other activities that we have been embarking on, and these are in terms of our groundwater sources. It is very important for us at the authority that we manage our groundwater supply and do what we can to increase the availability of groundwater. Now, bearing in mind that the surface sources are the ones that are heavily impacted during the dry season. And for us at WASA, over 60% of our facilities are surface source, meaning that they take their source from a river or surface type facility, so that the groundwater initiative has been increased. We have started work on several of the wells throughout Trinidad and even Tobago. We have done works, for example, in areas such as Tacarigua, Chatham, and Freeport, in Mayaro, and these works are continuing over the next couple of weeks. So what this has done is introduce additional source into the system. So by executing these works, we have added and continue to add approximately 5 million gallons of additional water into our distribution grid. So this will help in terms of areas that are really underserved to get that additional supply so that we could maintain schedules during the dry season.
Wow, that's a lot that the authority has been working on, Ms. Ali. That's a really, really comprehensive outlook on what the authority has done. But in fact, to you, Ms. Andrews, I just wanted to know, how can the public get involved in this water management plan?
Well, the public gets involved by indeed adopting the conservation measures. So WASA's theme for this dry season period and generally is value every drop. So we go out to the public through our Facebook platforms, through social media platforms to let persons know what they can do. But what we want the public to know, an exciting initiative coming up, because our messages, we want it to be interactive. So we want to have those more interactive sessions. So the authority will be hosting throughout the country town hall meetings in communities. And this is geared to really letting the customers know their source of supply, their schedules. We want to communicate with them issues that may be impacting their particular community, and as well as to get feedback from them. So to really know what their concerns are. And in that way, we would be able to improve further by having those interactive sessions. And it doesn't stop there, the outreach. So we are asking the public to be involved in these outreaches. Even our schools, we have visited virtually, of course, due to COVID, 90 schools, and we are encouraging the kids, the young people to value every drop for our future. And we have a national secondary schools water conservation competition where we are asking our young people to create a video around the theme of water conservation, showing how to conserve water or why it's important to conserve water. And this video, the winning video, we will air as part of our conservation campaign. So students can check their our Facebook page to get more information. And we are also reaching out to the schools itself so that they can know about this campaign. We have engaged the business community, the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce, and let them know what can be done in terms of water saving techniques, how they can promote water conservation, because we want everybody to adopt this type of pro-environmental behavior. And in agriculture, which is a main area, we have met with our Farmers Association in Orange Grove and other places, and we are encouraging them to sign up for our abstraction licenses and to provide information to them, and getting farmers themselves to help farmers. So farmers that have used pro-environmental or reduced water techniques, sharing that to other farmers through social media as to how they have had success, so that other farmers will as well adopt these practices. So it's a holistic approach in terms of involving every sector of the country to adopt conservation measures.
Nice. Now, Ms. Ali, as we look forward to the Easter weekend, which is, of course, maybe 2 or 3 days away, what is the authority planning to do, for that increased demand in water?
Definitely, Easter is a very busy time for us at the authority, and it means that we have to ramp up our measures and our mitigating strategies in several of the communities. So that, for example, in the Mayaro area, in areas in Southwest Tobago, where we see an increased amount of persons and activity being undertaken there by citizens. So what we normally would do is, prior to the weekend, we will increase our storage capacity so that, for example, in areas where we have large storage reservoirs like in Mayaro, those will be filled prior to the start of the weekend. We have also introduced scheduled supply before Friday, so that at this time some of those areas are receiving their scheduled supply, and then during the weekend into Friday, Saturday, we will have another set of schedules being run again to take these areas over that weekend by having their supply. So those are some of the immediate measures in Trinidad. For example, in Tobago, where in the Southwest and Charlottesville area, it is anticipated that we will also see a high demand. And some of the steps that we will be taking will include augmenting the existing supply from the Colan plant, which has been severely impacted during this dry season. We have introduced the Annisvale wells into that zone, so the groundwater availability of the Annisvale wells will be able to supplement the supply from Colan and thus able to take us through that high demand that we anticipate over the next few days.
Nice. Now, we only have a few minutes left, but I wanted to just go back to Ms. Andrews. Ms. Andrews, what has WASA done to make it easier for customers to reach out to the authority?
Right. So what we have done is try to improve the information into our contact center, because at times that is one of the reasons why the queues are very long. So our IT department has developed a water distribution monitoring system where information comes into the contact center, so the agents are aware of what is happening on the field and can have shorter interactions with customers calling in. But not only that, what we wanted to let customers know, because if someone doesn't have water, they're likely probably calling in to request a truck-borne supply. But customers do not need to call into the center to do that, because there are other channels. So we wanted customers to know that they can use our customer portal. It's an excellent self-service option, which allows customers to log in and they can request a truck-borne supply. The system automatically updates to the platform that provides the work request number, and they can get that work request number without calling into the center. So they don't have to wait on the long queues. If it's happening at that time, they can actually self-service and get that request in. And the portal opens so many other opportunities to them, because they will have access to their account. They can see their account information, how much money they have paid. They can see their bills when it comes up. They can even sign up for electronic billing. They can make a payment. So there are other channels. Our email address, customer complaint at wasa.gov.tt. They can send their complaints that way. That email address is monitored, and they can attach whatever supporting documents and send it in. So these are some of the other channels that they can use. And our leak repair app, if they want to report a leak, that is in its final stages of redesign, and it will be available. They can download it through the app stores, whether Android or so. In about 2 or 3 weeks' time, that will be completed. And so they can report a leak without even calling into the center. So what we wanted the public to know is that they can actually use these other channels, which are self-service and fast. And indeed, that will help them to get their complaints in or their queries in, their requests in, and service faster.
Now, Ms. Andrews, just one thing. If they want to access the portal, is there a website address that they can go to?
Sure. It's the WASA website address, wasa.gov.tt. And there's a link on the website to the portal. So they just have to sign up. There are some requirements, but it's user-friendly. It tells you, what to do. It will show you what to do. And then they can log on. They would have access to their account. So they just need to provide their account number when it's requested. And then they can log on, and they have access to all of the facilities through the customer portal, including the truck-borne request.
Nice. Now, Ms. Ali, we have about just under 1 minute, but I can't let you leave without asking you, what the authority is doing to address the leaks, because Ms. Andrews mentioned that there's going to be an app coming out soon where you can report the leaks. So what is the, authority doing in the interim to address that issue?
Yes, and definitely a very keen area of focus for us at the authority. It means that we have increased our initiative Currently, we have 45 in-house teams spread across Trinidad and Tobago who are dedicated to leak repairs. What we have been doing is increasing this capacity by adding the additional resources so that additional contracted crews now will supplement the different supply zones throughout every section of Trinidad and Tobago also. So with the expanded coverage, it would mean that each zone will now have a dedicated repair crew so that the repairs can be done timely. And what we are attempting to do is ramp up this leak drive and also to complete repairs within a very timely manner in terms of our compliance with our regulator standards, so that over the next few weeks, there will be an increased drive in terms of the leak repair activity, and we aim to minimize or reduce our backlog significantly so that we will only be targeting new leaks as they come in the very, very near future. So these are some of the additional steps being taken to really take control of the leaks that we have existing, so that this will be, more a thing of the past, where we will be repairing leaks in a more timely manner and also ensuring that we do the necessary road restoration activity.
Nice. Thank you so much, Ms. Ali. Thank you so much, Ms. Andrews, for just coming and sharing exactly what the authority has in store for the dry season water management plan. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, guys. And up next, we have Unique, Not Different with Shamla Miraj. You're on the Now Morning Show. Stay with us.